19th February, Mr. Garrett's room. Oh, you pair again. Tell me, was the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there? Mr. Sherlock Holmes? Oh, yes. Rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Holmes is in his element down there. Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan. Now then, why don't you tell... For the 18th time, woman, will you watch what you're jolly well doing? I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Hmm? Oh, yeah, yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you'd be so kind. Oh, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance. Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with your young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you should see yourselves out. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrett is hiding something, and since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. Oh, Mr. Sholmes is here. We can talk to him. Why is he sitting over there? Did we even investigate this? What is this? All this broken stuff. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken and the crockery is... Oh dear, it's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice. Ah, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. Yeah, probably something like that. But let's not dive too deeply here. Okay. Alright, Mr. Sholmes, what the heck are you doing? Ah, what's he doing over there? Mr. Sholmes? Aha, we meet again, my dear fellows. God gracious, when did you sneak in here? Sherlock Holmes, sir, at your service. What are you doing over there by the window? I am given to watch the evening sunsets, madam. And yes, sadly, Schiffel's room downstairs undoubtedly lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well, keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is a prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. Ah, another thing, Mr. Nutterhoodle. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect him going to do that again so soon. Do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? There's a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes even see the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo? I think so. There's just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Mr. Garradeb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service. Though standing as a landlord is certainly not what most might call first rate. I'm afraid, sir, that it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon. The first is that, even as we speak, you're concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. And the second is that, as a result of the beast's violent rampage, I've lost something very dear to you. Mr. Netherhother, look! The old man's broken out of a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. How could you possibly... How could I possibly know? You mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Sherlock Holmes is proud to present Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see. But the fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for the man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrett, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that is fueled by your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is his piffle, I ask you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. What? Yet, with living such a wild beast, proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much evident. Well, yet, as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to, madam? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but explain to me with one glance in your direction. It is? Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. For protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Whew. Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garrett, at Patsy's Circus, a traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. Man, remember when circuses were a thing? That's kind of weird, isn't it? You're rampaging Asiatic lion. Now, Mr. Garrett, I'm glad circuses aren't a thing anymore, though. It's plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Look. Your head weighs heavily on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amidst fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man. I simply... But what, we must now ask ourselves, is the true cause of this pain? And we need only to follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it's this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. Ah. For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. Until you had no choice but to let it go. Yes, well... Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I am not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Oh. This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only to look at the Tower of Cakes. Oh. And everything's so sloppy in here. There's no such creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it, or was it not, once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Walked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I saw in India. Oh man, probably not on, but a starving lion. Definitely not the case, but we'll make some tweaks to it. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this beastly puzzle. What is the matter with you, Joan? Your boy's scalding hot tea all over me. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrett. I'm afraid I didn't notice. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times too. Mr. Sholm, sorry to butt in again, but can I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Nuthudo. What was it again? Well, your deduction just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room this size? Indeed, is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garrett and his maid would have been hurt or worse. Ah, that's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast, using that large cannon. I thought you said they were sold the lion to the circus. And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I've heard of a lion that drinks tea. My dear Miss Susato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. Oh, what a glorious notion. Well then, Mr. Nanahodo, it's your turn to shine again. I had a feeling that was coming. A slight massage? That's all Mr. Sholmes' selection need. You can do it. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least, that's what I want to believe. Let's just start again. From the beginning. Of Sherlock Holmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright, let's fix this. So the rampaging. What form might this beast take? I look at something at the wall, and I'm pretty sure it's the metal, maybe? I really didn't see the line thing coming. No, but if you observe Mr. Garadev's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room. Yes, something with a very fierce nature, but it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. So what was it then? We must follow Mr. Garadev's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer. Oh, this photo. Photograph frame. Oh no, that's so sad. What's this photograph? It appears to be from Mr. Garadev's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but he can't make out this bride. No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened. Probably best not to delve too deeply there. Newlywed bride. The glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all. But no amount of cracks could hide the woman's plump form. I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, she certainly looks sad. There's a lot of horsepower there. Not someone you'd want to upset, that's for sure. Oh look, have you noticed her wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it? Yes, that's an unusual design. It looks like some sort of embellished sunflower. True nature of that beast has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, this framed print pictures your wife, Mr. Garadev. Oh, is the maid the wife then? And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured. We can make out her mighty arms and the note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Oh, indeed. Surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late. The fact remains that the beast, which so clearly savaged this room, was your wife, Mr. Garrideb. The chilling traces of wild rampage are still very much in evidence. But yet, as we look around, oh, this is the next part. The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh, dear. Anyway, Mr. Sholmes is quite right. There's no sign of Mrs. Garrideb anywhere. But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. Oh. So I guess it's not her. No, it is her. Okay. Pockets? Let's take a look at this first. That thing does appear to be a circus handbill poking out from a pocket. Batty's Circus, currently performing shows in a park not far from here. You don't think... Surely Mr. Garrideb didn't sell his wife to the circus. How could you even think such a thing? I was only joking. Besides, I would have gone with, do you think he fed her to his pet lion? That's somehow worse. Okay, so it must be the ring here. She's wearing a very large ring, look. Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. And it's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring. It looks like it's there on her for life too. I can't imagine it was sawed off a finger that size. That's something to think, Mr. Nadahodo, not to say. Do you know Mr. Garrideb's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one? There's a large sunflower design as well. Really? You have a great memory for these things. Large sunflower ring. It's quite a coincidence that they have the same ring, isn't it? Ah, so it is true. Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah! Indeed it does. The flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garrideb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garrideb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garrideb herself. Oh my god! Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmise, that's the wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a molly corkerback, blah 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 blah. It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you're a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are a folly. You mean that Mr. Garrideb has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garrideb? Only in company, obviously. But listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please. The Raging Wife of Mr. Garrideb. The Raging Wife. Now, Mr. Garrideb, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, this loss has caused you veritably tangible. Okay, so this is the same as before, but now we're gonna figure out what he's doing with his hand. Mr. Shumps is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Gyarados' wife a beast. Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. Mr. Gyarados is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? Oh, how true. So perhaps that the sporting arm that seems to be propping up his head has some other significance then. According to Mr. Scholl, Mr. Gyarados' pain is tangible though. What could that pose of his really signify? Let's take a look. Dun dun dun! The slapped cheek. Which you noticed when he was bouncing around a bit. Oh my, look at that bright red mark. Gosh, that's quite something. And clearly made by somebody's hand. Yes, Mr. Gyarados has been slapped on the face, it seems. Hard. I'd never seen such a clearly defined mark. Whoever could have done such a thing? Well, there's a very limited number of candidates, I'd say. Your head weighs heavily on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade was you, Madame Joan Gyarados. Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide that slap mark on your cheek, sir. Ah! How the blazes did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why are we subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Gyarados to fly into a rage. And we need only to follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Pile of bills. Okay, so she must be looking at something else, obviously, right? Didn't Mr. Shumps say that bills were all for lion fodder? Yes, but we've established that the lion never existed, which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling all that food was Mr. Gyarados' wife. Mr. Nuttahola, she's a person, not a thing! Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap around the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such a force, I wonder? I'd love to know the answer to that question. Bookmark. Let's take a look at this, I guess. Oh, there's a note. Ah, someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here, look! Mr. Gyarados is clearly an avid reader. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. And look next to the signature here. Lip marks! Made with lipstick! Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Don't get any ideas, Susato-san. Oh dear, I'm sorry. So this bookmark is actually a love note then. Interesting. Let's take a look at the pile of bills just to see what it says. Looking at all these bills, it certainly amounts to a great deal of food. Meat and potatoes by the cartload, wasn't it? Well, looking at the two of them, you can tell immediately who eats the lion's share in this household. Well, at least we're no longer talking about an actual lion anymore. Alright, let's present this. Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly on the ointment here. Oh my gosh. But I don't know the bloody woman. You don't know her. That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right. That's what I've been trying to... A likely story. Now listen here, Joe No Thing. I explained at the time. I bought the book at the second-hand place, and the note must have already been in there. So the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark for me. That's right. That's what I've been trying to... A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman. Look at the name. It's written to James. My name, in case you'd forgotten, is John. A likely story. Oh my gosh. Are you questioning my name now? Oh my gosh. And there we have it. Arouse the suspicion of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with the most ferocious bite. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last, unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. And what happened here? So it wasn't Tower of Cakes. But surely Mrs. Garrett didn't eat the carpet. No, of course not. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt. The state of disarray in this room is a result of her wild temper. No, that's true. So, this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction that we need to fix. We need only to follow Mrs. Garrett's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer. Alright, let's see what we can see. Yes! So it must have been that candle, right? There's a candle on the ground here. That's definitely a candle, right? The carpet here has been ripped to shreds. And yes, according to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, the tears made by those made by an Indian lion's teeth, exactly. Oh, look here. What is it? If you look closely at the edge, you can see scorch marks. Oh yes, so you can. In that case, perhaps the carpet wasn't eaten in the normal sense at all. Let's rethink this with that in mind. Okay. Candlestick. There we go. That's what we're looking for, I think. This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it? The base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. Looks to me like even the slightest knock would make it topple over. Oh dear, that would be dangerous. Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the three missing from its holder? Well, I mean, there's one right there. Can I just present this, I guess? There we go. Yes, to explain the dark state of the carpet, we need only to look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remains of the ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed they are. Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks? It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. Mrs. Garrett's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of her strike caused the candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight, and the whole corner of the room was in flames. Yes, for the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there's but one conclusion here. After the sparks of marital discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Oh, he's getting up. Mr. Sholmes, sir. I salute you. Oh no, he's falling. Oh, she caught him. Carpet scorched by a small fire. Kadunk, we did it. Deduction complete. Elementary. It's these dash long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of a fire. Luckily, there's a really good second-hand bookshop around the corner. Buy all of my novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discover some rather illicit material, for which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Don't know about admonished. Demonished. Might be rather close to the mark. and beast. Here we go again. And the carpet? Was that destroyed by fire when a candle fell on the floor? Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place was filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bolly thing. I was caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The volley of furniture started going up as well. I had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. Over here, Mr. Garrett? Well, you have nothing more to hide now, if you'll allow me. Oof, that's unfortunate. Had all my favorite novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Gosh. And the wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been. There was I, back up against the window under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books, incoming 10 to the dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite, book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? Ah yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again. I assure you the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage. Mr. Sholmes' actions turned out to be correct once again. It can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was a total carnage. Flames everywhere and the old stick in full fettle. Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure, I can't remember. It was 2 days ago now, let's see. Around 5 o'clock, I think. So, at exactly the same time, there's a terrifying incident unfolding outside the window on the street below. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The whole of Blightly could have been flattened outside my window at any moment, and I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing. Oh, really? Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Nutherhill, what can I do for you? Well, I think we got to the bottom of Mr. Garrett's situation now. But what does that have to do with Mr. Natsuma's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. I knew you were going to say that. Now, Mr. Nutherhill, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into only one of two categories, to be relevant to the case and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, no matter. It is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry? Missing hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no, is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsuma's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps you'd like to betake yourselves to bidding us farewell now. A most pressed supper for Mr. Garrett. Oh yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you both very much for your time. Sosuke-san will be waiting for us, and I'm going to have to give him an answer. Okay. Well, at least, like, we know that they were busy with themselves doing the thing, so they're not suspects. So we have to go back to the prison, I think. February 19th, Briar Road. It's time, Mr. Nutherhill. We must hurry back to the prison. Yes, I know. Let's have a look at... Oh. What's the matter? It looks like something's going on over there in the front of the Garrett's house. Uh-oh. What the? Who is that? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. How you call an old man, you rum-noggin ninny-pinny? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horiato, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Who's this Horiato fillet? What are you all about? excuse me.
What the? Who are you now?
I'm sorry. It just looks as though there might be some sort of problem here. And my associate here, Mr. Yunosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see.
A lawyer? What?
If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I've studied English law.
Fine. I'll be on my way for today, but you mark my words. This ain't over yet.
Get thee to a nunnery.
Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you?
Oh, that guy's face. Oh my gosh. I do hope you're not injured.
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle. Thank you.
What was that all about?
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horiato, that are dreamt of in your philosophy.
I'm not Horiato either. Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here? In the Garrett residence?
Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode.
Mr. Garrett mentioned that he had another lodger, didn't he? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor?
Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy a polemist in my better words, ne'er could there be.
Sorry, battle, did you say?
Who is the stronger? Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sped long into the night.
I see. I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least.
So, fair maiden, so good gentleman. Oh, I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well.
Okay, bye. I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room. It seems he's unaware of what happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. With Soseki-san and that man as lodgers, the Garrett house is certainly full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage. Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly waiting for our return. Let's hope we can get to prison before visiting hours are over. February 19th, 6:31 p.m. Local prison, cell 9. Man, he's always so nervous looking.
Oh, it's you! You're here! You came!
Welcome, student, Mr. Nuttahoe, Esquire.
I can't believe you came back! I'm so touched!
We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume.
No, think nothing of it. Relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing Nipponese.
Oh, now, let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. There's nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand, it is so friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least.
Oh, yes, it's you! The miserable, rotten spy! Lock Sholmes!
Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se. Save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring. Gloomful room? At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior option. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight and cost me not a penny.
You! How dare you, Lock Sholmes!
I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well.
My whole life is bedamned.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there is much truth into Mr. Moustache's words. What? Curse is a wholly appropriate description, I would say, for the man's lodgings. And indeed, for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed?
Oh no, why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it.
Oh, I see. That's really agitated him.
You don't mean the trial is cursed tomorrow?
Are you referring to the prosecutor, the Reaper of the Bailey?
The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please, tell me, summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words.
No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever.
Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That's 60 words exactly.
Yesterday, Mr. Nadahodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGilden.
What?
Ah, I am impressed, Mr. Sato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes. Surely it can't be that, having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself?
Oh no, he couldn't have, surely.
You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer, he's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow.
Oh, yes. Why, of course he is.
Of course he is?
Then why are you trying to scare me?
It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Van Zieks is quite an exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception.
That's good.
So again, looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you all no doubt aware, in the British criminal trial, there's both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals, and corrupt lawyers for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling impostors as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury, which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly is from time to time, my dear madam, is simply the reality of the situation. And that's alright. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed.
Oh my.
Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking.
Disappear? But how?
Ah, by all manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by raging fever. Or perhaps they are attacked by highwaymen.
Oh, no.
All examples of the reality of events in here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo.
I knew it. I'm the dead dodo done for doomed.
When you said a Christian's lodging before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garrett's house, I assume? Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed?
It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain.
But I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. That didn't take long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear didn't go away. You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road, a week ago now. Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him, "If you have something to say, then say it. But if not, don't mention it in the first place." Yes. Well said. But it was true. It was all true. You mean, the room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole. My sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I awake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are stabbed in the front of me as I walk down the street. And I'm branded a killer. Thrown in prison, nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really no one at all. To believe. Yes. To believe. Mr. Sholmes? Ah, me, Mr. Naruto? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Berea, if you recall. The Berea. Ah, that case. The one with the snake. Well, yes. At the time, I was a suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us investigate. I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe in me? I see, yes, you mean. Because you were grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow, found with the victim in a locked room. Well, if you like, yes. I'm not surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said, I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right. He's right, Locum student Mr. Naruto Esquire. Whether or not I can believe in myself. Believe in you, believe in me who believes in you. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You're so right, Kazuma. Well, my dear fellows, it's time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There's a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there? Mr. Natsume? If you'd like. In trials tomorrow. I'd be happy to represent you. Welcome to Mr. Naruto Esquire. As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday. And although the man I was representing was not found guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in. The defendant. Justice or the truth. How to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself, above all else. To trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Welcome, student, Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I'll hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Mr. Sato? Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Absolutely. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. Oh yeah. The shocking events of yesterday's trial will still weigh heavily on my mind, but it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Suzuki-san has no one. He's all alone. So it's my job to help him. To fight his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom. With all the strength I can muster. To be continued. 20th February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon? We're on a search tour of Great Britain, with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. Good morning. Ah, Mr. Natsume. Good morning. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain. Yes, I've heard that expression. But I really don't want to catch a worm. Oh, but I really don't want to catch a worm. I so tried desperately not to wake up early, but I'm so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Do all literary people take things so literally? Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume. I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor. I can't do this. I can't take it. Hello. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Yes? I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera, where there were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Mr. Sato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea. That all-knowing look on your face is just a coincidence, then, is it? Don't hide the truth from me! It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zeeks? Is that right, Miss Susato? I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one. I knew it. Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey. He stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zeek's return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilden. Ugh, what a harrowing experience that was. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's. But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon, for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they're all speculating various answers.
Mundane? Mundane is the most significant of the century to some of us.
Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it.
Well, lest we go forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of his infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago.
Yes, I agree.
Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. It's you.
Me? Well, I suppose that's true.
Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper.
Please, I don't rub shoulders with
Deathbringers.
I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck.
Thanks for that. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man of such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive.
Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student, new to London, with little in the way of experience or skills. Or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end. And I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, beloved locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side.
Oh, beloved non-locum assistant, Miss Mikotoba Esquires. I am in your debt. Forever. I shall never forget this kindness for as long as I live. Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense. The court in session is about to begin. Kindly make your way to the courtroom as once.
Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go.
Yes!
This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom. My second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because this time, I won't let my faith wither. I'll believe in my client to the last. Just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight.